Continues now.
Tonight, we're starting a new weekly feature called Idaho Backdoors. Outdoor reporter Steve Liebenthal takes us all over the state to show the adventures Idaho offers, as well as environmental issues affecting the Gem State. Tonight, we begin in the Teton Valley, where biologists are working on bringing back an elegant bird.
This is the view of the Teton Mountains from the Idaho side, arguably one of the most beautiful views in the Gem State. And down there in Idaho's Teton Valley, a collaborative effort is underway to help save one of the region's most beautiful and most vulnerable species, the trumpeter swan.
So we're looking for R14 and R18.
Bill Della Sola is looking for something rarely seen in Idaho these days.
They're two released trumpeter swans.
And they're doing exactly what he wants, laying low.
We kind of want them to be cryptic and wary of human presence, because that's going to help them in the breeding season and when they are stewarding their young.
In the early 1900s, the elegant birds were thought to be extinct until a small bevy was discovered at Red Rock Lakes just across the Idaho border in Montana, part of the tri-state area known as the Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem.
This is one of the last refuges for trumpeter swans before they were almost extinct. In the 1930s, there were only 70 left in the lower 48, and they were harbored by the ice-free waters and security provided by the Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem.
Now, nearly 90 years later, Della Sola says there are still only 100 nesting pairs in the region, including 20 in Idaho. It's no wonder spotting one is a rarity.
Actually see one that's poking its head up right over there. It looks like just a little white beacon throughout the sedges, not standing up any taller than the sedges.
The Teton Valley lies right in the middle of the Yellowstone ecosystem, but here, the number of potato fields easily dwarfs the number of suitable wetlands for nesting swans. Della Sola's group, the Teton Regional Land Trust, is collaborating with Idaho Fish and Game, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Pacific Flyway Council, and private landowners to protect and restore wetlands like those inside the sanctuaries of Yellowstone and Teton parks. Even in Yellowstone, nesting success is low because of overexposure to humans. Some park visitors, like these members of a Chinese birdwatching club, admire the swans from a distance using high-power lenses. But others are less educated and less sensitive to the bird's need for space.
They're feeding in the shallows back there.
R14 and R18 were released with the help of local elementary students after they were hatched at a captive breeding facility in Jackson, Wyoming.
I think that's probably one of the more satisfying parts of the project, is being able to engage the students and get them interested in natural resources and protecting our natural heritage in Idaho.
Now, 2 years after R18 was released, Della Sola is encouraged to see that she and R14 have returned to the release site for the second year in a row. He hopes that, like the Grand Teton itself, the trumpeter swan will remain as a breathtaking icon of this valley and the Yellowstone ecosystem.
Well, the male is now at breeding age. The female is still only 2 years old, and when she'll return next year, ideally she'll be able to breed, and we'll have some chicks out here for the first documented breeding of trumpeter swans out here in recent time.
Steve Liebenthal, 6 on your side.
Pretty stuff. If you see a trumpeter swan in Idaho, especially one with a green collar, contact the Teton Valley Swan Project at tetonvalleylandtrust.org.